Good morning, all of you. So as we comes to know that the complete matter in our surroundings, whatever the substances present in our surroundings, we can classifying into three things. So they may be a belongs to the elements, they may be a belongs to the compounds, or they may be a belongs to what? Mixtures. Do you understanding all of you? Compounds and we used to call it as mixtures. So these elements and compounds we used to call it as what? Pure substances. What we should call it? Pure substances. And this mixture is only called as impure substances. As we know that this mixture will form by one or more pure substances will mix it together. One or more pure substances will mix it together. Then that is called as mixtures we can call, or we can call it as impure substances. So at present we are studying. In last class I have taught you what is elements and how they are present. That is all. So let us discuss once again, quickly recall what we have studied in the last class. So if it comes to the elements, so as we know that if we take the elements, how many kinds of atoms are present? Element is made up of
only one
kind of atoms. Do you understanding? All the atoms present inside this element is only one kind. So that is why it is not possible to separate the atoms from the elements by any chemical process. Do you understanding all of you? By any chemical process, or as well as even physical process also. For example, by heating, do you understanding all of you? Or by lighting, by providing light or electricity, whatever the chemical changes we can do with the help of these three things, nothing has been done for elements because elements are not possible to bisect. Correct or not? We cannot further dividing into individual pieces. That is what we should call it as element. Will you accept it? Please tell me. So an
Yes,
element is a substance
Yes,
which cannot be split up, into two or more simpler substances by any chemical methods like applying heat or light or electricity. That is what we should call as element. So, and I have shown you in last class two examples like copper and iron. Suppose if you take a copper metal and if you see the internal structure, so everything is present. Which atoms are present inside?
Copper atoms.
Copper is present.
atom.
Only copper atoms is present everywhere. Like that, if you take iron, only iron atoms is present.
Only iron atom.
These substance, it is not possible to split up into another understanding into simpler substances further because already this atom itself is simpler substances. So it is not possible to further split up into individual. So that is what we should call as element. What we should call
Elements.
That is what you have to remember. So in our nature, we have how many elements? I said 118 elements are there. Total elements are present in our surroundings is 118. In that, only how many are there naturally occurring? 92. 92 elements are naturally occurring elements.
Naturally occurring elements.
And the remaining are what? Remaining are
Man-made elements.
Man-made elements. You understanding, Shruti? Man-made elements means that is only we to call as artificial elements. It has been prepared by human beings in the lab. So till here, any doubt? Please kindly ask me anybody. Laksha?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you understand this, then as we know that if we consider so many atoms, understand, if you see, they are not all existed like sulfur, phosphorus, chlorine, calcium, magnesium, including the allotropes of carbon. What is the allotropes of carbon? Yesterday I have taught you, correct? Means same chemical formula.
Sir, diamond, graphite,
Coal.
and coal.
Allotropes, understanding, even allotropes of carbon. Carbon is also an element. Is it yes or no, all of you? Carbon is also an element. So if we take the allotropes of carbon, basically it is, we can say only two things, main important things. One is diamond and the another one is what? Graphite. So both the things made up of what? Made up of purely carbon. Do you understanding? But different state, different physical state. That is what physical appearance is different. Means the physical properties is different, but the chemical properties is same. That is what we should call it as what? That phenomena is
Allotropes.
Allotropy. So the allotropes of carbon like diamond and graphite is also called as what? Elements. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now that is what we have understand. So diamond and graphite is also we can call as elements only because they are the allotropes forms of a carbon element. This is what we can call as elements. So now you can observe these elements. Is it only present in solid state? Is it only present in liquid state, or is it present in all the states? So if you consider these elements, what are that? Please tell me. These elements are present in what is the state of this?
Graphite.
So these elements are present in
Solid, liquid, gas.
solids. Few elements are solids, and few elements are liquids, and few elements are gases.
Gases.
For example, you see solid elements. If you consider what is the solid elements, you can consider iron, gold, understanding, silver,
Copper.
copper. So these all the elements. What we should call Manya? We should call that
Solids.
solid elements.
Solid.
If you take the liquid,
Solid.
elements, you can take mercury,
Mercury.
bromine, understanding. So these are called as liquid elements. And if you take gases, what are that? Anybody?
Nitrogen, oxygen,
Oxygen, hydrogen,
nitrogen.
and others also should speak helium, etc., etc. So these are called as what we should call gaseous elements.
Gases.
Called as solid element. These are called as liquid elements. Still here any doubt? Please all of you tell me. So the element has been classifying into, they are existed in three states. What are that, Laksha? They are existed
Solids, liquid, gas.
liquids and gases. So some elements are solids, some elements are liquids, and some other elements are gases. Understand, Ra? So this is all where we can measure. How we can say them? These elements are existed in solids, liquids, and gases at room temperature. Where?
At room temperature.
Room temperature.
At room temperature, whatever the metals are present in solid state, they are called as solid elements, and whatever the substances are present in liquid state, called as liquid elements, and whatever the substances are present in gaseous state in room temperature, they are called as gaseous elements. So till any doubt in this, all of you? This is what the most
No,
important
sir.
you have to. So elements are present in solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state at what? At what temperature? At
Room temperature.
temperature. This is what the most important thing. At our room temperature, whatever it is present in solid state, solids, liquid state, liquids, and gaseous state, we used to call as gases. Correct or not?
Gases.
All of you. Any doubt? Anybody? So now you may observe
No,
here.
sir.
I have written only two liquids are present in all the kind of elements. Do you understanding, all of you? Have you noticed it? Why can't I write one more? Suppose you can take solids, I can say more. Even gases also I can say more. But liquids I have written only two. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Because at present, the only two metals are present in liquid state at the room temperature. They are mercury and bromine. Do you understand, all of you? So remaining metals, so not remaining elements, so many elements like cesium and all. In our textbook, right side corner, somewhere tabular column they have given. Please turn the pages and you can see. Soon, like because of our human activities, our earth is going to rise the temperature. So because of that rising room temperature, soon so many like cesium, gallium and all, they are also coming to the room temperature. Means they are also coming to the liquid state at the room temperature. But it is not yet happened, but soon it will going to happen if the temperature of the earth is rising like this. Understand, all of you?
Yes, sir.
How many liquid?
Yes, sir.
Only two liquid elements are there. What are that?
Mercury and bromine.
Mercury and bromine.
Mercury and bromine.
Only two elements are liquid at the room temperature. So if you take only 11 elements are gases. If we'll take even gases also we'll consider only 11 gases. 11 gases are understanding present in gaseous state, and remaining all the elements. Most of the elements are what? Most of the
Solids.
Solid.
most of the elements are solid state. Only two elements are liquid state, and 11 elements are in gaseous state. Do you understand,
Gaseous state.
all of you? So 11 plus 2, 13. 13 gone. Remaining all are what? What we should call? Metals only. Understand, Ra?
Metals.
Metals. That is
Sir.
what you have to remember. So this is all regarding not metals, elements. Understand? So now you
Solid, sir.
Yeah, elements. So now if you observe, in our surroundings, is it elements are present more or combination of elements is present more?
Sir,
Combination
combinations.
of element is more.
That is what I am saying you. So in our surroundings, most of the matter, whatever the substances are present in our surroundings, this all the substances are mixing of metals. That is what you have to remember. So most of the substances around us are made up by the combination of two or more elements. That is what you have to remember. All the substances, they have been formed by combination of two or more substances. Do you understand? Sorry, two or more elements. Understand all of you? Please tell
Yes,
me.
sir.
Yes, sir.
That is what you have to remember. So most of the substances formed by combination of two or more elements in our surrounding. So now if you consider, for example, the best one which we used to drink every day, what is that? What is that?
Water.
Water.
Example. So water. If we take water, what is the formula of water, Shruti? Like
H2O.
what is the formula of water?
So H4.
H2O. Correct? So if we take what is the water formula is H2O. So H2O is a compound or element? Anybody? Manya?
Compound.
The
Compound.
compound.
How you can say it is a compound? Because it is made up of
Hydrogen and
elements.
oxygen.
two elements. Laksha, you can see, Manya, you also communicate nowadays, not all hearing your sound, and even chat also you are not messaging. So if we take here water, the water is made up of two elements called as one is hydrogen and another one is oxygen. That is
Oxygen.
what is known as what? Compound. Do you understand, all of you? That is what the thing you have to remember. So let us comes to here. Like that, if we'll take so many examples. Suppose you can take sugar, common material which are using, which is using in our everyday. So if we'll take the sugar is made up of three elements. What is that? If we'll take the sugar is, what is the sugar formula? C6H12O6.
O6.
Understand?
O6.
Basic sugar. That is what we should call it as glucose. So if we'll take, understanding, so it is made up of three elements. What is the elements present here? You
So
can,
it is compound.
Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen.
it is combination of carbon, it is combination of
Hydrogen
hydrogen, and it is combination of
and oxygen.
oxygen. Any doubt in this? Clear?
No, sir.
So it is made up of hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. Are you understand, Ra? So now if you
Yes,
observe,
sir.
remember all of you, this is what, like all the most of the materials around us, they are made up of what? They are made up of what, Ra?
Compounds.
Compound. They are made up of more than one element. That is what we should call them as compounds. Or else
Compound.
combination of more than one elements means like not chemically reacted, no chemical bond. They are called as mixtures. Correct or not? Yes.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
That is what you have to remember. Alana, you understand, Alana? Laksha? Samaya? Now, if you'll understand this, now I need to go. If it comes to here, we have around 118 elements. Correct or not? Ra?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you'll observe, we have how many alphabets are there in our language English? Only
26.
26.
correct? So, but we have 26 alphabets, we have hundreds of elements, like hundreds of names of humans, like same way, just as 26 letters of the English alphabet combine in various different ways, like A, B, A, C, like that, different ways they will combine, understand, and they will make a very large number of words. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yalamokel is combination of so many letters. Correct? Sai, you can take so many letters. Pradosh, so many letters. Manya, so many letters. So just we have how many? Only 26 letters. Correct or not? But they are forming hundreds of crores of words. Will you believe it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Like same way, if you'll observe, a few elements only present. That is what 118 elements at present. In that also naturally occurring elements is 92. In that also most reactive elements are very less. So the few elements which will combine together in various different ways to make extremely large number of materials and objects which is present in our surrounding. Do you understand, Nira? How the same way like alphabets are forming, the same manner, the elements also combine. The elements which are more reactive will combine together in various different ways, and they will make an extremely large number of materials and objects. Do you understand, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Example, sir, how you can say? Can you give the example? Suppose you can take carbon. Carbon is the most prominent element in our periodic table. So if we take carbon, so to remove the carbon and tell me how many elements are there remaining. One element I have removed. Now how many elements are there?
117.
117.
117, sir.
117 elements are there. Now if you consider, let me imagine if all these elements will combine together and they will form some large number of products in the sense of some compounds, correct or not? Large number
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
substances, materials and substances they will make it. So this is 180 elements. Let them combine any possible ways. Understand, Ra? Let them combine, even each element combine 1,000 times also. Let it be, no issues. So if let it take, they are making 100 products, 100 substances. Do you understand, all of you? They are making large number
Yes,
of
sir.
materials and objects. So 118 elements combined together and they have made, let me imagine, example I am saying, 100 products or 100 substances, but this is also not equals to only the element, the substances formed by carbon element. Do you understand, all of you? Carbon alone will form the more number of objects, more than the remaining all the elements is combined together. Do you understand, Ra? That is what
Yes, sir.
so carbon can produce a very huge number of products, like in the sense of compounds, or we can call it as objects, which is not even all the remaining elements will combine, and they cannot even form as many objects like carbon will form. Do you understand? That is why we can say carbon is the most important one, which is every living organism, every non-living organism, most of the organisms are made up of what? They are the product,
Carbon.
they are the compounds of carbon only. Without carbon, they cannot form. That is what most of the organs which is present in our body also, everything. So that is what you have to remember. So for example, our estimation, do you know that one carbon alone will form around more than 5 million compounds. How many, Sai?
5
5
million.
million compounds.
That many compounds is only formed by carbon. It is estimation. We don't know even more still how many it will form. Like this, that is the speciality of carbon. Understanding? Carbon alone will form more than 5 million compounds, which is not even understanding. All the other elements, the compounds formed by other elements is also not even close to the carbon. That much most prominent element in our periodic table. Everything is made up of this carbon only. So if you'll observe our human body, let us come to our human body. So as we know that we are all humans and you are also humans. So if we'll consider our body is also a complex. It is made up of complex compounds, which is the combination of only certain elements, not so many elements. If we take our body, understand, our body is called as what? Complex compounds. It is what? It is made up of
Complex compounds.
human body. Example you take human body. If you take human body, it is made up of complex compounds. What is that?
Complex compounds.
But
Complex
made up by what? Only few types of elements. So what is that elements means? Just remember, every human body contains 65% oxygen element. How much, Ra? How much?
65% oxygen.
65% oxygen. That is why you can see majority of our body is what? Oxygen. It is made up of oxygen. Next, 18% carbon element. 18% carbon element. Note it down. 18% carbon. Now add it 65 and 18. Remaining how much? Let me see who will say first. 18. 18 over. 18 plus 65. How much, Ray? Nobody is answering. Whatever you will say, till that I won't say. 65 and 18. Huh?
Sir,
8.
Say 83.
sir.
Whatever it is. So You can remember 65 oxygen element, 18 is carbon element, and 10% hydrogen.
Remaining.
How much? 10%
83, sir.
hydrogen. 10% hydrogen. Very, very important. 10% hydrogen and remaining all 2-3% only. So if we consider to next 3% nitrogen and 2% calcium. 3% nitrogen and 2% calcium. Last you can observe, last one more element called as remaining all other elements, everything is present, only 2%. You understand, Ra? Only these
Yes,
are the
sir.
three elements, and all other elements if you consider, whatever it is present in our body, so everything just 2%. Now is it added? Total is coming 100 or not? Verify. Verify and tell me. What is this? 5 plus 8 plus 5, how much, Ra?
Yes, sir.
13 plus 13, 3 will come. So check it all of you, 13. So 13 plus next
Sir,
13.
100.
83. 83 plus 93. 93 plus 96. 96 plus 4, 100. Correct or not?
Sir.
Same or not? That is what. So
Yes, sir.
here, our human body is also having the major elements is only what? 4 elements. What are that? Oxygen,
Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen.
and calcium.
Hydrogen.
So even calcium also less percent, 2% only, and all other elements are 2%. So what is happening? So this is what our human body. Our human body is made up of mainly what is the elements, Ra? Oxygen, carbon.
Oxygen,
Carbon, hydrogen.
carbon,
Understand, Ra? All of you,
hydrogen,
please tell me. Shruti, have you noticed it?
Yes, sir.
Everybody respond me. Laksha, Manya.
Yes, sir.
That is.
Yes, sir.
If you understand this is what our human body is made up of. So that is what I can say. Every organism in this earth, every organism in this universe is made up of definitely a combination of one or more than one elements. Yes or no? That is why that all them we can call as what we should call compounds, or if they will just combine, then we can call them as mixtures. This is all about compounds. Sorry, can you please scroll up? Oh, okay, 1 minute. Please note it. So this is all about the elements. Is there any doubt? Please, all of you tell me.
No doubt, sir.
No, sir.
No doubt.
Now, if you'll understand this, then we are going to study the most important concept for your life also, even higher studies also. That is what? What are the types of elements? So I am saying totally we have some number of elements. It is not some books are 115, some books are 118, whatever it is, you remember. So you remember always, these elements are again classifying into 3 families. What is that? Can you able to say? Elements are again classifying into 3 categories.
Solid, liquid, and gas.
Solid, liquid, gas.
Solid, liquid, and all okay. Solid, liquid, and all okay. Solid, liquid, and gas are the state of liquids, not characteristics of liquids. So based on the characteristics, class 8 you may have studied metals and non-metals, and as well as some will show the properties of metals and also as well as properties of non-metals. That is why they
And
will
metalloids.
as metalloids. What we should call?
Metalloids.
Remember, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So,
sir.
elements are classifying into solid, liquid, gas. It is correct. But according to their chemical properties like reactivity, passing electricity, state of existed, that is all you can observe. So all the elements are classifying into 3 categories. What are that? Metals, non-metals, and
Non-metals and metalloids.
metalloids. Please all of you write it. So elements are classifying into 3 categories. One is what? Metals,
Metals, non-metals, metalloids.
Non-metals, metalloids.
and metalloids. Right, it's I.
Yes, sir.
Metalloid spelling what? METTO-METALOIDS, correct? What is that?
Sir, METALOID.
Metalloids. Is it correct? This is, I think.
Yes, sir.
LLOIDS, metalloid. So this is what the classification of elements. So elements are further dividing into three families. What are that? Metals,
Metals, non-metals, metalloids.
non-metals, metalloids.
metalloids. Any doubt in this? Anybody, please?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let us comes to the first family of metals, that is called as what? Sorry, first family of elements called as what? Metals. Okay?
Metals.
So what is this metals? Why we should call them as metals, and what is the characteristics? Everything we'll discuss now. Shall we start? All of you, please tell me. Will say yes. I will
Sir.
start. So now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
the three groups of elements. These are the three groups of elements. It is present in the elements. Means all the elements are classifying into three categories. That is only metals, non-metals, and metalloids. What we should call?
Metals, non-metals, and metalloids.
Monish, respond me. Monish, Darun, Tamil Selvan, Priyala, Priyacha. Okay, wow. Darun is not yet joined. Okay. Monish also not there. Monish, are you there in meeting? Monish also not there. Okay. So if we'll consider here, this is what we should call it as. Yeah, okay, Laksha. METALLOID, metalloids. Correct? So that is what. So if we'll observe here, now we'll discuss one by one in detail. So please all of you keep reading metals. Any doubt in this? Metalloids also, learn spelling. Say, I am little bit poor, but you have to learn well. So metalloid spelling is what? META.
LLOIDS.
Metalloids. Actually, I know that, but when I'm writing, I can write, but when I'm teaching, I am unable to learn the spellings. I don't know. I never learn. Okay, we'll see. No issues. So now, this is what we can say. Let us comes to the metals. All of you remember metals. So please keep heading metal. What is the meaning of metal? So before starting the next last class, you may see I have taught you the three words. What is the three words? Have you remembered? Three words. One is malleability. Second one is ductility.
Ductility and brittleness.
Ductility and
Understand all of you?
brittleness.
So the same thing here you have to remember. What is metal means? Remember, a metal is an element. What is that? Metal is an element that is malleable, ductile, and conducts electricity. Please, all of you write it. What is that? All the metal is an element, but is it all? No. I will say the examples. A metal is an element that is malleable and ductile. Please write it. A metal is an element. Metal is an element which is malleable, ductile. Laksha, are you understanding? Malleable, ductile, and conducts electricity. Ductile and conducts electricity. Conduct electricity. That is what we should call it as. Examples are anybody? Examples of this one. Best example.
Sir, copper, iron.
So best example is copper. Next one is we can say iron. Next one you can say. Next, what kind of wires you are using? Copper wires and as well as aluminum wires. Have you noticed it?
Yes, sir.
That is what. So this is what copper wires, iron wires, and aluminum wires. That is what you have to remember. Like silver, gold, everything. We used to call it as what? Metal soul. All of you. Do you understand, Ra? Whatever it is malleable and ductile in nature. That is all we should call it as metal soul. So these are the things we can say regarding like iron, copper, aluminum, zinc, silver. Everything is known as the examples of what? Examples of metal soul.
Metal.
So here you have to remember whatever the metals present in the understanding we have in our nature, except one metal, remaining all the metals are solids. So what is that metal which is liquid state? You may notice it.
Mercury.
Remember all of you. Actually, two liquids are there, two elements are there, but here only we are discussing what? Metals, not elements. So metals only except one element, one metal, remaining all the metals are present in what state? Solid state.
Solid state.
Solid state.
Remember, no gaseous metal is present. All of you should remember. The metals all are existed in which state, Ra? All the metals are All the metals are present in which state? Present
Solid
in
state.
Solid.
solid state at room temperature. Solid state at room temperature, except
Mercury.
one element, sorry, one metal. Now element illa. One metal known as what?
Mercury.
Mercury.
Huh? Is called as
Mercury.
Please, all of you remember mercury. Mercury, and the symbol of mercury is, all of you remember, Hg. What we should call? Symbol of mercury
Hg.
called as Hg. Please, all of you write it. This is the point you should remember. That is what, not any other thing. So all the metals, everything, whatever it is, prepared in solid, they are present in solid state at room temperature. And temp, temperature, you can write it. Shortcut temperature, except only one and only solid metal called as what? Mercury. Do you understand, Ray?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
No, all of
Sir,
you.
gold is metal or not, sir?
Gold is a metal, Ra.
Sir, then it is brittle, no, sir.
Who said brittle? Do you know, I say the highest brittle means, don't think that I have broken it. Highest malleable metal is gold only. If you take just 1 gram of gold, how much I? 1 gram of gold. Do you know, Sai? More than 1 kilometer we can make a wire. We can draw the wire of 1 gram of gold, like a very, very thin wire, which is equals to 1 kilometer. That much malleable. Understand, Sai?
Yes, sir. We can make it into sheets, wires, and we can whatever we can make, sir.
Whatever we want, whatever the shape we can, easily it can mold. That is why we can say highly malleable and ductile element is called as gold. Understand, Ra? Yes or no, all of you?
Yes, sir.
That is what you have
Yes,
to remember. So except
Sir, brittle means making into powder, sir.
brittleness means easily can break, easily can convert. By hitting with a hammer, they will turn into powder. That's all. Understand, Sai? Whenever I am hitting, suppose you see chalk piece. Do you have chalk piece? Do you have chalk piece? If I hit the chalk piece, what will happen? It will turn into powder. Same way, if you carbon you take, coal, if you press it with a stone, definitely it will break or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It will
What we
break,
can
sir.
say. That property of breaking is called as brittleness. What we should call?
Brittleness.
Brittleness.
Understand, Samaya, Manya, Mavanish, everybody? Elamukil, check once. I think either except Darun, everybody is there in meeting, correct? Yes? So that is what we should say.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you observe, you can understand this is what we should call as metals. What is metals, everybody? What is metals? Metal is an element which is malleable, ductile,
Ductile and conduct electricity.
And conducts electricity.
copper, iron, aluminium, etc., etc. And all these metals present in which state, Amma, Laksha? All the metals are present
Solid state.
solid
Solid.
state.
Solid state.
Only one metal, that is only called as what?
Mercury.
Understanding? So except mercury,
Present in two
metals
states.
of all the metals of elements are present in solid state only. Clear? Any doubt? Ask me. So if you understand this, then we are going to study the very important concept called as properties of metals. What we should call?
Properties of metal.
This is not different, Ra. Actually, what you have studied in class 8, only the same thing here. But anyhow, you may forget it. I know that. That is why we'll study now. What is that, Ra?
Properties of metals.
Properties of solids. So what is this metals, Ra? Everybody, they are present in what? Most of the metals are present in
Solids.
solid state.
Solid.
So that is what. But here exception case is there. So that is exception case only, very important for MCQ. So please, all of you keep hitting. What we have to keep hitting? Properties
Properties of metals.
of metals. Properties of metals. All of you keep hitting. Is it kept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if it comes to here, then we are going to study what are the properties of metals. So let us discuss what is the properties of metal. The first properties of metal is already known thing to us. What is that? Can you able to say? What is that? Metals are malleable.
Solid in it.
Metals are malleable. Please write it. First property is called as Metals are
Malleable.
malleable. Learn the spelling of malleable. M-A-L-L-E-A-B-L-E. Correct or not, Elmukel? M-A-L-L-E-A-B-L-E. Correct? M-A-L-L-E.
Yes, sir.
That's all. So now, what is the meaning of malleability, Ra? Shruti, are you understanding? Shruti, please respond me. Malleable or not? Manya, Samya, everybody.
Yes,
Metals
sir.
are malleable. For example, just now I said for Sai's case, you can take. What is the meaning of malleable? Beaten into what? Hammered into thin sheets. Yes, sir?
Sheets.
So if
Sheets.
I'm hitting with a hammer, hammered, understanding, hammered into thin sheets. Thin sheets is only called as what? Malleable. Understanding, and the property is called as malleability. So I am saying that metals are malleable, but is it all the metals are malleable, or else only some metals are malleable? That is what we'll study. If it-
Only some, sir.
Some metals only malleable.
most of the metals are malleable in nature, except one or two. Suppose you can see zinc, you can take zinc also a malleable in nature, but it is malleability is somewhat less, so that after making into certain area, then automatically it will break it. Do you understand, all of you? Suppose if you take
Yes, sir.
aluminum foil we are using for packing of food nowadays, you know that if you go to some
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
they will pack the chapati, everything in the inside the aluminum foil, correct? They will just press it like this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it will take everything. This aluminum foil they are using for packaging food items like biscuits, even chocolates. You can observe, have you noticed it? Every biscuit and all inside coating is aluminum foil. Have you noticed it or not? Inside
Sir, in
coating.
dairy
Yes,
milk
sir.
they will give, sir.